I see what we've done here in the market and what we've done with Heron and Grey as a real, it's an idea for anybody to take on, is that you don't need to go and spend the stupid amounts of money.
If the product is right.
You don't have to go and get all the bells and whistles. If you're dead serious about owning your own restaurant and you love cooking, just go and bloody do it.
There's a different idea happening here. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a constant movement. But then that's what keeps you interested, and that's what keeps you so excited, because every time I'm delivering something, I'm also just like, what do you think of this? We just figured it out. Like we think we did. Do you think we did? And it's like that, you know, there's a constant sense of it's still all discovery all the time.
I get in the trouble off him because I'll end up sitting down talking to the customers and I'm halfway through service. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, if I could, I'd just pull up a glass of wine and I'd sit down.
But they love that.
But it's great. You get to know people. It's like
there's a true intimacy in the room.
Yeah, you get to know who comes to your restaurant.
Yeah.
And you're grateful because they've come to your restaurant, because they're spending the money in your restaurant, which means you get to do it the next day. And that's, I think, why it's worked. It's because we care. We really do care, because if you walk out and you haven't enjoyed it completely, we feel we failed. We brought this place, turned the key, and we opened it and we got going. And that was it.
Yeah.
Next minute, Michelin came in. Like, they came in, I think it was like about...
It was 3 months.
3 months after we opened. And we thought, yeah, grand, that's great. You know, like, we got the first inspection. Oh, yeah, deadly. Might get, you know.
Then we got another, then we got another, then we got another, then we got another. They had to make sure.
My head was wrecked because we'd had so many inspections. I was having a meltdown.
It was a nightmare.
So anyway, it got to the day of the awards, and I swear to God, we went in there and it was sitting in this room, and it was like a waiting room, and it was the most surreal thing ever. Our phones just went berserk. We couldn't answer them. You just couldn't. There was no way of getting to them. It was just
like 5,000 emails.
Yeah, it was 5,000 emails for bookings in one day. Like 28,000 people.
I answered the first 1,000 the next day, and I'd booked it for a year. Completely. And I was just like, let's just stop. We've gone for a year. Don't know what we're going to do in August, after August of next year. We'll just stop there. So we went that far. That turned out to be a bad idea. Hello guys, what's going on?
Hey guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Yeah, great, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
We sort of fell into this idea of changing the menu every 2 weeks to keep the customers coming back at the time. In the course of 3 years, we came up with just shy of 700 dishes. We ended up some of the most amazing reviews that have ever been written, especially because we're in a market and we didn't even have a toilet at that stage. If Andy was sick or Andy couldn't be here, or if I was sick and I couldn't be here, we would close the restaurant. If one of us had to go to a wedding, we would close the restaurant. It was simple. We were the package. We delivered a service. Our names were over the door. We had to be there. After 3 years, well, yeah, literally 3 years, nearly to date, we finish up, and that's going to be it. So yeah, if I had continued on with Heron and Grey, nothing changes. But Heron and Grey's not Heron and Grey without the Heron.
Like, it's been amazing. Like, 3 years has gone by like in a flash. Like, to be honest, which is always a great thing. Like, good times always fly. Are they taking the mick out of me behind my head?
For a change, you'd be quite respectful.
But yes, no, seriously, I'll miss you all, and I'll always miss the industry.
Don't
but
cry.
Listen, they want me to get emotional, but that's as good as I get. So, thank you very much.
12 o'clock tonight, we lose our star. I want it back. Shit, I want it back. Jesus Christ, man, they gave us a star with no toilet, IKEA plates. We're serving food on IKEA plates. But it was the truth. It was about the food. And that's all we were doing. That's all Andrew and I were doing, was caning the food. We were making sure the food was tasty. It was good. We were using the best there was. I said goodbye to Heron and Grey last night. I opened Liath today. So I'm in the middle. Now for me, it's on the road to Liath. I went to my peers. Everyone was saying, you got to call it Grey. You've got to call it Grey. I was sitting there and my daughter was sitting there doing her homework and I was talking to my wife when I said, like, we were talking about the discussion of what we're going to call it. And she turned around and she goes, why don't you just call it Leah, Dad? And I went, what's that? And she goes, it's Grey in Irish. Dumb Australian here, do you know what I mean? Like, didn't have a clue. And then I said it out aloud and I said, Leah. And I was like, that actually works. It works. It's soft. It's mysterious. It's grey in Irish. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a backer. I don't have investors. I've borrowed to the nines for it. I believe in it. That's the key. I believe what I'm going to do is going to work. But I am scared. I'm absolutely petrified. But look, that's the key. Don't go in there confident and thinking that you're going to win everyone over. Leah, as far as I'm concerned, Leah's got to start again. It's got to prove itself. So Leah is starting from the bottom and we're going to work our way up. And that's why this build represents what Leah is, because it is a shell that's going to come out of the ashes of what Heron and Grey was, and it's going to hopefully be something amazing.
Everything is happening right now. Like over there now, there's like 8 builders over there just gunning it. The bar's gone in, etc. You know, wine area went in. The kitchen's just a completely different feel to it. So yeah, so I've been waking up at 4 o'clock and starting my days at 4 o'clock thinking, are we going to get power? Are we going to get power? Are we going to be there on time? If we don't get power...
You got a few hamsters on the wheel and...
It's not the end of the world. Like it could be, but look, at the end of the day, like, let's have something to eat and we'll have some bottles of wine and we'll do it all by candlelight if we have to, you know, like it's just the way it'll be. Like,
get out of my section.
I like your section.
It's so spacious.
I'll take a tablet tomorrow. I'll take tablets for tomorrow.
Is this you pretending to cook?
I didn't watch you here.
Huh? And then grill it here.
It's been a very hectic day. So basically it's now down to, we've got to get everything done, we've got to clean. The lads have been prepping away. There's only so much prep we can do, you know, like there's bloody dust everywhere. As soon as that first person walks through the door, that's it, it's game on. And like, I know by 7:30 we're going to be ready because I've got every faith in the team. It's just a bloody big list to look at, do you know what I mean? Like, it's huge, it's just so monstrous what we've got to get done. Like, the builders are back again tomorrow. So, you know, like, they're going to be walking out the door, the customers are going to be walking in. The usual story when you do something like this, and it's just like, one day there's got to be an easier way of doing this, but I don't think there ever will be. So.
Hello.
good evening.
Let's not do a threesome,
Go on.
I thought it'd be a good idea to come down here and have a look at just the vegetation around the lake, because today we're going out in the loch on a place in Ireland called Loch Ness. You never know when you're making a dish. You sort of say to yourself, okay, this is going to be great and this is going to taste amazing. But then when you go to where you actually get the products from, and you look at the area around it, you get inspired of what's just naturally there. So it's good to see where it's coming from, see where it grows, or where and then try and bring that back to the plate. When I put that dish out next, I've got all these visuals to explain to the customers how beautiful it is and how tranquil, and it's actually quite magical, actually. Hey, D.
Hey, Damien, how are you?
Very well.
Pleased to meet you.
Very pleased to meet you. Very pleased to meet you. Dick,
That's
is it?
Dick, yeah, that's Dick, yeah.
Pleased to meet you. How's things?
You're good?
Thanks for
yeah,
doing it.
we're ready to go on board here if you want to go on board.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Can't wait.
Right.
So what are
good.
we catching?
We're catching eel today.
Eel?
Yeah,
Awesome.
eel. We're lifting one long line here.
Okay, and do you always just lift them via the lines, is it?
Well, we always lift by lines, yeah. We set lines during the day and then we lift it early the next morning.
Wow.
That's our...
And you out, is it 7 days a week out? Or is it
No. We're usually 4 to 5 days.
take a few days?
Yeah, yeah. There's a stone every 10 hooks
Right.
to keep the line on the bottom of the lock.
Here we go.
I thought,
Sorry?
he was cut on the bar, keep looking.
What's the average size? About that?
That's
Couple
average.
pounds.
What age were you brought out on the boats with your dad?
Oh, started from our school,
Yeah.
13, 14.
And then that was it?
Just,
That was it.
Once you finished your school, you were just out on the boats after that, yeah?
Come up this morning at 4:45.
Yeah.
And we're looking if they get finished tonight at 7, the time you prepare these lines. And
Yeah. That's a long old day, huh?
12, 15-hour day. Like.
How many generations in your family have been doing this?
3 or 4.
Oh, at least 3, and we know it's like.
Wow.
We don't delve too far back in the history.
And your girls didn't want to have anything to do with it, no?
No. Too early a race and they don't like early racing. They were all good sleepers. So good.
Look here, look at this.
Whoa! Yes!
It's your birthday, you do it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, right?
Jesus, size of him. This hook on the top of on the trout, it's actually unique to this lake. Look at that. That's what you want. Beautiful. To be honest with you, when I was coming out today, to see the guys bringing in the eel and everything, I knew I was going to be in for a treat. But even bringing that net in, that's quite a bit. That was a sort of like a decent sized net as such, and there's only a few pollen in it. You know, so it does show you the pollen is scarce. So when it does come in, we need to make sure that it's respected, and we show it the respect. We show it the respect it needs.
That's it, my knife there.
That's your what?
Knife, the blue knife. It's in there. No.
Unbelievable.
How long? You have? It's all yours. You got it?
Yeah.
This is the first time.
Right, skin them. You just cracked it. There's one bone down the centre, right?
Yeah.
Crunch. That's all you need here. You don't want to do it too much. You don't want to break it right through.
You're just pushing just to break the bone?
Just to break the bone.
Yeah.
And then you have to work the flakes down. Hands clean.
Yeah. Simple as that, huh? Listen.
Nice meeting you, Damien. All
No,
the
it
best.
was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. You're
Right,
an absolute
well,
gentleman.
Damien.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
sure
you.
I'll see
All
you
the
again
best.
sometime.
Oh,
Lovely.
lovely. For sure.
Where do you see your shop, your things at in Dublin?
In Blackrock Market.
Blackrock Market. Ah, right, South Dublin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eric Highleg.
How are you, mate?
How are you, mate?
All right.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Good
Dude.
to see you too.
I'm starving.
Right, let's go to Selma.
Go to
Have
Selma?
lunch. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
So this, where are
That's
we,
Selma.
mate?
There we are.
So tell me about it.
Danish lunch, small boil, on a nice modern level. Yeah,
Yeah.
good beers. That's all we need to know.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Oh my God. How much food did you order?
There's a bit of stuff like, yeah.
Holy cow.
Hey.
That's enough.
Oh yeah,
Of
that'll get
course.
us going. Yeah. How you doing? I'm Damien.
I'm Magnus, nice to meet you.
Magnus, pleased to meet you. Yeah, I've been reading about you guys following years and that, so I'm sort of like keen to taste what's going on here. So, all right, let's do this.
It's delicious. Super well balanced.
Herring's one of my favourite, man. I love herring.
Me too. The thing in Denmark is, in general, it's quite sweet and sugary, but this place here reduces the sugar and brings it right down to the essentials.
I'm just going to stop you there. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's fucking amazing.
The butter really works well there. Yeah, you get the right aspects of the horseradish. It doesn't burn your nose off, but you get the flavor profile of it, the complexity.
Going and going. There's all these different elements of.
It's one of the dishes on the menu that's never changed.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's so good.
It's 4 components, but they're right.
Was that it?
Herring, horseradish, crumble, cress, butter. 5. Yeah. You need sour, you need bitter, you need salty, you just need a little bit of everything to keep it going.
What made you come to Copenhagen?
There are more options here.
Yeah.
There's a more sort of forward-thinking movement. Yeah, it's very open-minded when it comes to that. It's a city full of gastronomical institutions.
There's so many cool restaurants here.
So many good restaurants, right? And that kind of attracted me here. But eventually, I was also thinking of getting out of the kitchen and reapproaching what I'm doing, still working with food and with flavor, but in a very different way.
You've ended up in Empirical
I've
Spirits.
ended up at Imperial Spirits, exactly.
So this is from Empirical.
That's Empirical, exactly.
Okay, and it is a smoked juniper. Do you want to talk to me about it?
So what we do is that we have our base, Helena, that we infuse with smoked juniper, and then we redistill it, and then we lightly age it in Oloroso sherry casks for a bit. Very light amount, yeah, very gentle. Exactly,
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, we smoked this for several days over juniper wood and juniper needles, and therefore we just, put a lot of intensity into it. And see, that's the thing. Even though it's a higher ABV, it's still smooth, gentle.
Oh my God.
It's really nice, huh?
Oh my God.
It's dangerous, huh?
For me, I don't know why. I just get ceviche and I see that smoky, campfire-y sort of essence to it that's...
I mean, you can use it to cure your fish. Like what a lot of people do nowadays is what? They cure your salmon in gin and spices.
Oh, Jesus,
You can basically just replace your gin by this, and then you have smoke without having actual smoke at the fish.
Dude, imagine brown trout with
Yeah,
this or
brown
something.
trout, yeah, cured in this, yeah, a bit more fresh juniper, some fresh dill. You're winning, huh?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
How's it going?
Welcome, good to see you.
How you doing? Damien, pleased to meet you. Wow, thank you so much.
With a little bit of smoked paprika, salt, and sugar.
That's cool, huh?
Delicious.
That's really cool.
Plays really well with the Travelling Mickey.
The umami's there, man.
The mouth feels amazing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just the sourness kicking in. It's just jumping all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me, where's Flo working?
Same thing. Flo's at Empirical now.
Deadly. You know what, man? I'm going to go and see Flo.
Dude, she's working. Yeah. Go
Awesome.
say hi.
Awesome.
Right.
All right, cool.
Like what I realized as well in getting to know Lars was that there's such a crazy potential of chefs in general. But I found that their work was then only being expressed to 40 people twice a day or 50, whatever, like the size of your restaurant.
Exactly,
right?
we're very limited in how many.
Yeah, exactly. And what Lars and I were interested in is like, how do you flip that paradigm into something that can be shared with as many people as possible?
Wow.
How can you flip that into like saying we're going to take the same care of ingredients, we're going to take the same kind of like looking gas through like traditions and raw materials from all over the world. That's our terroir, so to speak, that we get to interpret and then translate it into something delicious. Now, a byproduct of fermentation that we were really into was alcohol.
Yeah.
It's a great medium for transporting flavor.
It's a great vessel.
It's a great vessel.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's do it. Lars at his kitchen table one evening, in winter, like literally a week before we started, he was like, let's make booze. I was like, okay, yeah, let's make booze. So that's how it started. It was like, yeah, no.
Ooh, flow! How are you, Pat?
I'm good, and you?
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Welcome in.
Yeah. This is awesome.
It's been a while.
How are you?
Doing great.
You fecked off and left me in Ireland.
I know.
Tell me
I'm
about it.
sorry. But been up to good things, though.
Tell me about it.
Well, and here we have Full and Pony.
Now, I've had this before.
Yes. So this is based on black quince tea and quince tea kombucha. So we've macerated our black tea and redistilled it. And then with the spent tea, instead of throwing it out, we made a kombucha that we redistilled and used it instead of water to bring the alcohol down.
They sort of jump around. Like 1 minute you get the quince, and next minute the tea's coming in, and then next minute it's lovely sourness, and then spiciness in there. And it's, how do you get to that? Like, that is so pure.
And here's the tin. This is the minor threat.
Look at the color of it.
So a few months back, we decided that we wanted to have something that is just so refreshing, easy. You don't need to overthink it, but you can still taste empirical spirit.
Okay.
By just cracking a can open in the sun, by the canal here.
So you have rhubarb, jasmine, pine kernel, and orange blossom in this mix, is it?
Indeed, and a little bit of pink peppercorn and green peppercorn spirit. And then the pink peppercorn comes in like towards the end, tinkling in your tongue.
What is going on in that man's head? Like, honestly.
And that's 8% ABV.
It is very refreshing.
You cannot taste the alcohol, right?
No. That's really ridiculously good. Hey, Matt.
Damien.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man?
Pleased to meet you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for taking the time out.
Of course, my pleasure. This place. Sometimes a bit too. Sometimes I'm like, do we need something else or?
Oh wow!
So this is it.
Wow.
It's funny. You get these. So many of my friends said, you have to make the entrance on that side. The water's on that side. The garden's on that side. It needs to be. I was like, no, man. When you walk into this little hallway into an office building, and then you come through this little door, and then it just opens up into this.
It almost explodes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's just like boom.
Quite dramatic. Whereas if you walk on the other side, it's big windows. You kind of get a feeling of what you're going to walk into.
Yeah.
And so, against everyone's wishes, we did it on this side, which I really like. When you open a restaurant, you're like, okay, we're only going to do 5 courses, and we're just going to turn tables and just be a bit more casual. And my wife said, you're never just going to be able to stick with 5 courses.
I get that as well.
Yeah.
You stop dreaming. You know exactly what you're going to do.
6 years later, we're 11-course menu.
Back to caning it and just doing it the old school way.
Exactly. And every single course on the menu contains a byproduct or from either the current menu or something we've had on recently.
Okay.
And so it just gives us more of a chance to express that kind of message. The byproducts themselves have now really pushed the creative process.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even start with a piece of fish now. We start with, okay, hey, we have all these mussels that we use to make mussel stock that were overcooked in the process, so now we smoke them and dry them. Now we have all these, what can we do with these dried mussels? Great, we're going to make almost like a dashi.
Yeah.
Okay, what can we put with that? And then it's either fish or more mussels or something like that.
Doing that, did your dry stores just explode?
Explode. We can go take a peek at it right now. So this is, what you're about to see is the dry stores at
the core element of a dish. Whereas, like you said, buy a piece of fish, then you work from there. Now it's like, okay, we've got the mussels, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, that's it. And I think this is. Do you think this is where we're going to go, Matt? Do you think?
I don't think it is. We have to.
We have to.
We have to. That's just it. Because in general, the restaurant industry is extremely irresponsible.
Yes.
And there's never, not until recently, there's never been aggressive talk about thinking this way. We try not to use the word sustainable anymore because it's becoming a buzzword.
Yeah,
We try to
completely.
use the word
Yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
Because my fear is that the word sustainable becomes like organic, where it's like
or artisan or something like that. You know, so
it becomes an advertising thing, and you know, like lists and ratings and stuff have become such a driving force in the industry. And you know, I talk to the guys all the time about, you know, this is our list or our rating is working the way we do, and creating a product that is so delicious and superior, because we're working in a very different way than the majority of the restaurant industry is. So unless we deliver an experience that is top notch, we're not going to convince anybody that this is the way to move forward.
Aquaponics.
Aquaponics. We make all of our own fish food.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I started to research what fish food was. Don't ever do that. It's absolutely horrible. So this is, it's all the fish trim that we produce, bones as well.
Yeah.
The bones we pressure cook and puree, and then mix it with all the pressings from rapeseed oil from one of our farmers. And then
So cool.
we started with 54 carp 5 years ago. We actually had to give 26 of them away to another aquaponics because they were producing too much nitrogen for the system. So we had to give half of them away. The solids of the fish waste move through the watering system. We basically have earthworms living in the hanging gardens. They eat the solids of the fish waste, turn it into worm castings, which, as you know, is the holy grail of nutrients for plants. My forager, Thomas, 4 years ago, delivered watercress to us, wild watercress with roots on it. So we threw it down in the beds. The roots grew in, and now this river. I mean,
wow.
And every time he sends out a mail to everyone about watercress, I just send him a picture of this with a.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's. And he comes here, he's like, this tastes better than the stuff I'm picking in the wild right now.
Yeah, it does.
When I left Noma, and there's nothing against what they do over there, but I mean, I had 47 chefs under me at Noma. I mean, you're first and foremost a psychiatrist, then a babysitter, and then a chef. And so.
And a doctor.
And a doctor. And someone's dad, and someone's mom, and
a bank manager, counselor.
Yeah. So when we opened up here, I was like, I just want like a super small, focused team that know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
I come from a very, very simple life. Do you know what I mean? Like, and but I cook for people that have lots of money.
Yeah.
I don't pretend that I have lots of money. I just cook for these people, you know. And I go home to my wife and my kids and live in a small little house, and that's me. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And my restaurant, so I can be creative and I can work for myself and play around.
If you think about a restaurant in and of itself, it's a super materialistic thing.
Yeah.
People pay a lot of money to come and drink and eat, and it's an experience that not everyone can afford to do.
Yeah.
So how do you give that materialistic entity substance? For us, it's working like we do and trying to share that information and get that. We do have like a kids program in the garden, and it's about, I think, engaging the community a bit and just being more out there and not kind of living in your own kind of materialistic universe. How do you use this vessel as something to carry another message?
Wow, what an experience. Being here in Copenhagen in the last 4 days has just been mind-blowing. It's unbelievable what's going on, especially over here. Just the way the people are thinking, all these creative minds trying to make a difference and how they run their businesses. And yeah, I've got a lot to think about, and I think this is going to change the way I think about everything a lot. I think this is going to be quite a profound moment in my career. So. It's really pure out there, isn't it?
It is. It's very unspoiled.
Unspoiled, yeah.
It's unspoiled. It is. It's a beautiful spot because the access is not easy for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's an open beach. There is not a lot of residents around the place.
Yeah.
And there is not a lot of runoff into it either. So it's
it's
very clean.
Very clean
well.
waters and that.
Yeah. And it's perfect because of the rocks around it.
It's actually beautiful. It's
It is
stunning.
perfect
It's
for it.
absolutely stunning.
It's like one of those, secret spots that is still out there.
Yeah.
With an amazing amount of seaweed. And seaweed is like such a good ingredient.
I started playing around with a dish that explains to people how 5 senses work: your sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savoury. So I came up with this dish that it's a carrot. And what we do is we poach the carrot in dashi. So we make a dashi out of the kelp. And then we roll it with a chicken liver crumble. So the carrot itself is that umami flavour, that real savoury flavour. A little bit of sweetness in it. And then on the outside of it is a chicken liver crumble, which is the bitterness. But then I use the rock samphire at the very top. Only 2 tiny or 3 tiny sprigs of it.
That's it.
And then wild pea when it's flowering. I set it on the top of it so you get sweet, but you get that bitterness as well, because rock samphire can be really bitter really quickly. And then I put a fermented carrot underneath it. And the idea is that people get to experience all these different senses in one hit, but that at the end of it, just tastes like a carrot. You know
That's just
what I mean?
incredible, isn't it?
So you get all that work just to make it taste like a bloody carrot again. But where are you?
Hey, buddy. Welcome to the beach.
Oh, mate, how are you?
I'm brilliant. Come
Listen,
on in. Come on
I'm here to wreck your head about a few things.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay? I need some meat.
Okay.
And I need it to be smoky.
We can do that. It's basically a kiln, much like if you're making charcoal.
Yep.
So the whole idea is that you put whole pieces of wood inside. Now we're using beech and oak predominantly.
Yeah.
When we're lucky, we get some oak, some apple wood.
Yeah.
So you can see where the smoke kind of goes in.
Yeah.
And what will happen is it fills up the room inside, and basically, as the chimneys heat up, they're going to create a natural draw.
I'm doing a dish with a native fish, right? What could I use?
The 2 things that kind of come to mind really would be the jowl.
Yeah.
Which becomes, as the Italians would call it, guanciale.
Yeah.
And then the streaky, or the belly, which we can age on to pancetta. So I've got some of those guys here. So the handy thing about the pancetta.
Oh, look at that.
The handy thing about the pancetta, now you can see that what we have is we've aged these, they've been basically hanging around here, so they're starting to firm up. What we have is basically, this is your streaky bacon.
Yeah.
That's been aged on. Now it's got great depth of flavour, the salt is starting to kiss through, and the cheek, which has more flavour.
Yeah.
But is actually definitely needs a little bit more of the crisping up and the cooking in my mind. So I think that we could probably try the 2 and see which one works
I could
better.
try the both, but I'm thinking I actually may be more inclined to go the cheek because
It's a little cheeky number.
It's going to be more complex, more depth to it.
I love it. Okay, we'll bring these with us.
So typical day, about 8:30, start picking mushrooms. Mushrooms are a bit like cows. They need to be milked twice a day. They need to be picked twice a day. There is that much of a difference in them.
You obviously didn't do mushrooms all your life. What did you do beforehand, man?
My background, I did food science in UCC, and I ended up then working for a couple of Irish multinationals all around the world. And basically the premise of that industry is make food cheaper. Figure out ways to cost reduce everything. And I was very good at it, but you question
the ethics?
The ethics, and you go, you're developing food that personally you wouldn't touch with a barge pole.
Yeah.
We rocked up at a farmer's market with a basket of wild mushrooms and a basket of some shiitakes and oysters we'd grown on a hobby kit. And
that was it?
That was it. Now we supply probably on a weekly basis about the guts of 30 restaurants. We'd supply maybe about 20, 25 shops in Ireland. We'd supply shops in the UK with products we make from mushrooms. So typically you can this time of year, you can pick about 6 to 8 kilos an hour. That's just basically what you can pick, and the biggest issue is getting them out.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. Like, it's
easy enough to pick them.
Yeah, it's easy enough to pick them, but like that was a good walk that we did, and like carrying 10 kilo back with you.
Oh, like you come out.
That's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, you know.
You come out and you spend a day and you're picking, 30 or 40 kilos. You get to get them out of here.
Yeah.
So typically little arm stumps of mushrooms stocked along the forest path, and you pick them up then.
Everywhere you look.
There's no mushrooms in Ireland. Always remember that, Damien.
There's no mushrooms in Ireland, right? I'll remember that statement for the rest of my life. I've never seen so many mushrooms. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Yes, it never stops.
Good morning, Liath Restaurant. This is Ailish. Now, yes, liahthrestaurant.com for the bookings. Only book online, yeah, that's it. Cheers, bye-bye. The panic. Is it just online?
Wednesdays are still slow. All the Saturdays are nearly filling up. We've lost a Saturday already, that's gone. Friday, 15th's fill. And the confirmations come in. Keep an eye on them, yeah? Okay, all the weekends are gone. Okay, so the 22nd in the red. Everything's gone in the red. The orange is just basically they're filling out their details at this stage. Green means that we've still got live tables. The yellow is they're held, so someone else is onto them as well. So this system will definitely just take all that pressure away, because when someone rings us, we can just say, I actually should go to Chicago and look at how they put this together, because it has literally changed the way we run this restaurant. Deanna, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I had
Hello.
the best, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Listen, I had the best meal in here that I've had for a very long time. I had flavors after flavor after flavor. You made everything speak so naturally. What's your secret?
Thanks. So every single dish that we have, it's kind of something that I'm so proud of. There's really been like 3 defining huge moments, like, and I feel like it was when I wanted to be a chef, when I had my children, and when I wanted to dedicate my life to Mexican cuisine. Like those are like magical fucking movie moments.
They are,
like,
they really are, yeah.
That like, it's only like a viewer of one experience,
Yeah.
like me, like, and you could ask almost any Mexican, where's your favorite place to eat Mexican food? Like 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say either their mother's house or their grandmother's house, their aunt's house, sort of a thing, So it's like, I wanted to capture that spirit and put it here in the restaurant. So when you come here, it should feel like Mexican mother is cooking for you. He's out of breath.
I am bollocksed.
I've also loved telling people about how I think that I'm a bruja, because I mean, how can you not, when you take a look at all of your ingredients, all your spices
exactly,
and your chiles, and then especially when you're
like
pulling
you're
out
magic,
things like
absolutely,
I
have a magic drawer.
I'm making a little potion here,
Oh.
And we're going to just wooden spoon.
The second that hit.
So it's like there's so much that you could do. That's why I love sauces.
I think the sauce makes the dish.
Sauces is one of my favorite, because as long as you master how to understand a protein and cook it, it's like that's something that but like sauces are just going to, right? It's pretty amazing, right?
That goes from sweet, sour, bitter, salty. That's like every sense just going nuts, and in a very, it's like a symphony almost. It just does it.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm a little lost for words. I'm a little lost for words. You go through life as a chef, you really do. You go through life as a chef and you believe that you know everything, and you believe that you understand food, and you believe that you control, you know how to do things, and you can cook anything. But like, by Jesus, you've just said, listen, sit here, little boy, and I'm going to teach you how to cook. Do you know what I mean? Like that's, really do that. That's amazing. Thank you.
Well,
thank you. Seriously,
Yeah,
give us a
it's been
hug,
great,
man.
yes.
Thank you so much. Wow. I do, so. Do you just follow us like that, yeah? All right, cool. So, Nick, where do you run my restaurant?
Well, you run your restaurant.
Okay,
We
no,
just have a
go.
tool. But basically, all of this and around the corner is talk. So these 2 rows here are all of our hospitality team, we call them.
I'm really sorry.
Right.
I'm really sorry for the scary emails.
Right. And so if someone does have a question or concern, very quickly they respond, usually within a minute or 2. I believe that right here, we're doing a pop-up next year. I'm working on the permitting to do that, because imagine that we're doing a linea up here with that view of the city.
That'd be magical.
Right?
It really would be.
If you had told me 15 years ago that I would own 5 restaurants, a software company for restaurants, employ like 700 people, and be talking to you about like as some sort of expert in all this shit, I would have. There's no way. Like it's so to say that I envision that, I'm a liar. None of that. But do I envision success when we start a project? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've never had a marketing person. We've never had a PR person. We've done all that ourselves. I mostly do all that sort of stuff. And it's just about telling a story. Like,
exactly.
You know, it's like...
It's all about the story.
And so when I met Grant, like, the story was already great. Like, this kid was like the golden child of the French Laundry and worked under Thomas Keller. And his food was just great. Like, the first time I ever ate at Trio, where he was, as his first head chef job, it was completely I'm actually getting like chills talking about it. Like it was a great meal. I could tell you every bite I had.
But see, that's the thing.
And
You
I didn't
remember
even care about food.
Yeah.
I didn't care about food then the way I do now. But then when Grant got sick, you know, he had stage 4 cancer, and,
that's right,
and was given. He's 11 years cancer free, but he was given 6 months to live 10 and a half years ago. I literally had a conversation with him 3 blocks from here, saying, if you die, which is a terrible conversation to have. I mean, it sounds terrible, but it's also like you want to be on the level, right? What do you want me to do? And he went, I don't care. I'll be dead. You figure it out, mate. Like, you know,
Good luck.
Like, yeah, right. Yeah. And so, like genuinely, I was like, oh, well, that was great. We were named #1 restaurant in America by Gourmet Magazine 18 months after we opened. So we achieved all of our goals in like 18 months.
Yeah.
And it almost was too good to be true.
Yeah.
And so it didn't. We were like, oh, that's the train that's going to run us over. And that's really the birth of Talk. Was you know, sadly in his illness, when I needed to be doing kind of more of everything.
Okay, right, yeah.
I started asking dumb questions. Why are we doing 72 people on Wednesday but 84 people on Saturday when we have a wait list of 100 people?
Yeah.
And I'd get the general manager going, well, every day can't be Saturday.
Hospitality, it's a lifestyle. You don't open a restaurant to become a millionaire, okay? But you do open it because you believe in something. You believe making people happy with food.
Making people happy with food is the whole of it.
Yeah,
it really
and that
is.
is the essence of it.
And every now and then when I'm pinching myself in the other direction and I'm going like, this is a shitty day, I walk 3 blocks that way and I go through all the dining rooms at night.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds of people having a great time celebrating their birthdays and anniversaries, and
the clutter of the cutlery and the laughter and it's all...
and it's like, oh, that's why we do this.
Yeah.
Doors! These doors are open.
Thank you. Man, I went to like a bunch of craft cocktail places and it took me 45 minutes to get a drink. And yet, that can't be more complicated than a dish at Alinea. Yeah. We have essentially chefs instead of bartenders. And so the mise en place is done exactly the same. So everything's prepped ahead. It's exactly the way you'd run your kitchen, but it's a bar. So you get high quality craft cocktails with the speed of a kitchen instead of a bartender. So the upstairs is all about modernity. And the downstairs is all about tradition.
Love
so, this guy here is from the Royal, what's it called? I'm not remembering.
British military ration run.
Yes,
Wow.
1955.
This place is amazing, Nick.
It's crazy, right?
Oh my God. I love how you've interconnected it.
Yeah, I call it the Goodfellas route, where you go through the kitchens.
I can't believe what I've just seen. When you're running a business, you exhaust every angle you can to maximize productivity and make business has got to make money. What Nick just showed me is mind-blowing. They're thinking of everything. They're thinking of drinks. They're thinking of the future. They're thinking of classic food. Oh man, so much going on in Chicago. This place is unbelievable. It really, really is. The last 2 days in this town, and again, I'm going to be walking away going, scratching my head going, I've got so much to bloody think about. It's not funny. Going back in and rebuilding Liath from scratch, from the ground up, it's been bloody emotional, to be honest with you. Like, it's just been a whirlwind, like it's just up and downs, and getting the star back was one of the major objectives, but it wasn't the dictator, do you know, that way. Because the main thing is I just want my customers to be happy. So, like, we've had phenomenal press and just review after review after review. We smashed it out of the park and it's been amazing. It's been absolutely exactly what we aimed for. But yeah, I'm very nervous now, yeah. Because I don't know which way it's going to go. Like, it's the bloody biggest gamble I've ever done in my life. It really, really is. I borrowed 160,000 euros to rebuild it so I could work for myself. The Star was gone as soon as I changed the name, which was probably the craziest thing. Any other business owner would have said, well, why'd you bloody change the name? So the biggest risk of my life hopefully will pay off today. This is the closure of Michelin Grey. That's what this is. This is Michelin Grey's finished today, once and for all. So anyway, I'm going in now. And hopefully Ireland will kick ass today. Because we deserve it, because we are cooking some of the best food around at the moment. I firmly believe that. So yeah, I'm going to be heading in. That's me gone in my new flesh clothes. Do you like my jacket? Fingers crossed. See you in a bit.
And service. So good, Jen.
All right, this is a dish that we can't get off the menu, okay? So what it is a cornet of smoked eel and anchovy, pickled shallots with black truffles. Have you had eel before? You're freaking out at me, man. He's looking at me like this. The blood's just drained out of his face. You're giving me bloody ears.
I should open the palate just before we have a little bit of fries.
Thank you very much.
Powder, like you don't expect it.
Because Dan loves to burn things, you have it burnt.
Basically, last night in London, we were awarded a Michelin Star for. We didn't know we had a star until the actual end of the ceremony. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's a huge achievement, especially for these guys and Niall, who's not here at the moment because he's decided to break his leg and everything. It's very rude of him, you know what I mean? I just want to say thank you to these guys because they have gone through hell and back to get this place off the ground again. So please, everybody, raise your glass to Leah and to the guys. Thank you. Cheers, everybody. Guys, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. Cheers, guys.
I'm still waiting.
Fair play, lads. Thank you. All right, let's get the service back together again. We've got our star. I don't believe it, to be honest. Like, yeah, it's really hard to believe that we did it, you know, like in such a short amount of space of time. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to come from us. I mean, we're only just starting.